So you guys, I almost hate to say it, but I told you so. You know, some of you haven't been watching any of my videos, but I think it was the last video I made. I told you to watch what the standings are. Okay? The league, I'm telling you right now, the league is rigged for Warriors to be number 1, OKC number 3, because they won a Western Conference Finals. If you watched that game yesterday, you will see that OKC had a lot of phantom foul calls called against them, meaning that they didn't even foul on some of those calls. For instance, when the first quarter, when OKC was making a push, the refs automatically started calling phantom fouls, you know, so that it could slow the league to bring the league closer. Now, if I make a mistake, I watched the video when I was, working or whatever, how a guy said it's like a 3-point spread favoring Denver or something like that. But it ended up being, however, I don't know how this Vegas stuff works, but it ended up being 121, I think, to 112, the game or something like that, whatever the points were. And it was because of these foul calls that weren't even fouls for the most part. Now, toward the end of the game, we're trying to come back, do all this other stuff, but they're calling silly fouls. So, I mean, it just is what it is. And then on top of that, you get to the early part of the fourth quarter, now they're calling fouls that really weren't fouls for Denver, but they called probably 2 or 3 on purpose because they want to make the game closer. You don't do that. Let people play the game. OKC was going to beat this team, and I'm telling you, if they didn't necessarily blow them out, they were at least win by at least 5 or 6 points, the way the game was heading in the early part of the first quarter before they slowed the momentum down. But we can't even sit and enjoy a true game because these refs are manipulating the game, and that's not right. So OKC next plays, I think, 76ers, and then we got San Antonio. Those are 2 games that we're going to win, but I don't like the fact that they want to pigeonhole us into the 3rd spot when we could easily be number 2. It's not right, but it is what it is. We could have an easier schedule being number 2, but they know that we have faced the Warriors probably, even then. We can still face them in the conference finals then, but it's going to be OKC 2nd or 3rd in that spot. So we'll see what happens, but in this game, OKC started struggling once those calls were made, so they had to move a little bit differently. Toward the middle of the first quarter, Paul George, he struggled a little bit, but toward the 3rd, 4th quarter, he started coming together. Nerlens Noel, I told you guys about him. Nerlens Noel makes it a tough matchup. What happened in the 4th quarter was, I like what Donovan did, because what Donovan did was he made Nikola Jokic work. And it was very hard for him to be able to, get his breath, get his feet underneath him, and be able to perform consistently. So, in order to beat Denver, what you guys who face them in the future, you make Nikola Jokic work. You have to move him around, make it a matchup problem, and not only that, but Nerlens Noel's defensive presence inside makes it very difficult for teams to score against us inside the paint. So that's another thing. This is the best game by far that I've seen Steven Adams play this season. He played very well defensively, because I've been on his back about defense. But this time, played a great defensive game. So we'll see what happens in the future. I do see OKC winning the next 2. We need to at least an 8 or 9 game win streak because of these 2 losses that we just took from Sacramento and who else? This team Denver. So we'll see what happens, you guys. I'm not really going to talk about too much of the game because it just frustrates me what the refs did. The refs lost that OKC this game. So whatever. If you don't believe me, go back and watch it. If you can't watch the games and all you're doing watching highlights, go to Fubo, the app, Fubo. Watch the game like I did. I have the game recorded on my phone right now. So, watch the game. All you people who are just watching highlights, don't even comment, period. Because you aren't watching the game. Highlights are highlights. That's it. Anyway, I'm out, y'all. That's it. Thunder up.